Bumblebee. Ask her.
What's going on, guys? It is the SMT. Thanks for tuning in to watch this edition of the SMT YouTube channel. Today I've got tons of news and updates to give you guys on AT&T. A lot of things have been going on at AT&T. Super busy company, huge company with a lot of different tentacles and sectors and parts of the business, a lot of different segments. So I've got news on AT&T TV Now, something good and something bad there. We'll also talk about employees and pay, which is interesting. Doesn't always make it here to the channel, but it does today. And then a couple of other things, including AT&T's financial issues, and then also from the mobility side, what's happening in their wireless world. All right, before I get into today's content, please turn your attention quickly to the description box. We've got links to the following items. The SMT Patreon page link is there. The second channel, Sneed Mobile Tech live streams, also there. The Twitter handle at Sneed Tech, and Megadon.net, the social media platform of the future. Never need another social media platform ever again. No algorithms, no ads, no tracking. Megadon.net. All right, so let's start with kind of like the biggest issue actually right now at AT&T. So AT&T has huge ongoing financial issues. They are seeking aid and help and support. Most recently, we're hearing of executive issues and changes, possibly to upper level management, realignments, business operation modifications, and restructuring. Dividends apparently potentially were thought to have been at risk. AT&T has refuted this, and I think I know how they're going to be dealing with this and still able to get those dividends out to the shareholders. So what they've done, and they've successfully completed, is a $5.5 billion term loan agreement specifically designed for financial flexibility during the situation. So shares have responded to this news. They increased by 2.8% almost immediately, and it looks like, you know, in the case of the dividends news, people are pretty thrilled about this. In terms of the details of the loan, it did require 5 banks to finance this. It offers a strong cash position for AT&T, and it allows AT&T to try to ride out the storm as they're going through the current situation that they created with DirecTV acquisition and Time Warner acquisition. Former Hulu founder is the new CEO of the Time Warner media side. Had that in a previous video, so Stanky will be moving aside for that. You think about what they paid for DirecTV, that was $50 billion. Time Warner, I believe, was over $100 billion. If not, it was really close. So you've got a total debt load just from 2 acquisitions at $150 billion. Tons and tons of debt. So this debt and having the inability to chip away and, you know, bear down on this debt on the media side is not paying back, and it's forced a delay in their planned $4 billion share repurchase, which was supposed to be planned, but especially during with the situation, that's not going to be happening. Now let's go ahead and transition, and this is what I've got here on the screen. From the mobility side, we're talking wireless here. With their 39 gigahertz winnings at the most recent Spectrum auction, AT&T has an incredible ultra-wideband positioning with millimeter wave holdings. The acquisition of Fiber Tower and its 379 megahertz of millimeter wave now doubles the winnings in the auction to 786 megahertz. So theoretical speeds in terms of carrier aggregation and being connected to all these different channels, potentially they could have 3 gigabits per second on the downlink for AT&T. What's interesting here is what they did was AT&T ended up trading the Fiber Tower licenses for auction vouchers, which they ended up using to get the contiguous spectrum blocks nationwide. So now AT&T has over 1,000 megahertz of millimeter wave holdings, and they also have their 24 gigahertz holdings. So Big Blue making a big win with 39 gigahertz and 24 gigahertz for millimeter wave. Now, in terms of network operations, potentially you could have markets that could have 800 and some odd megahertz of spectrum in those markets. If you think about it, 8 channels at 100 megahertz each, we're talking about 400 megabits per second on the downlink on each channel. So about 3.2 gigabits per second. So that's how you get that math. Now 400 megahertz for mid-range devices, you'd probably get like 1.5 gigs per second. Using the Qualcomm Snapdragon X60 modem theoretically for next year, using mid-band and millimeter wave carrier aggregation, sky's the limit. You can get multi-gigabit connection there. So Verizon still doubles AT&T and Spectrum holdings in millimeter wave. I believe Verizon has over 2,000 megahertz, which is insane. But they'll be getting over 3 gigabits per second, probably over 4 gigabits per second as well. Super, super incredible speeds from the two big networks, AT&T hot on the trail of Verizon. All right, let's transition over to AT&T TV Now. All right, we got a price drop. That's good. But we got a feature removal, and that's not good. So the nice news is AT&T TV Now Plus package drops in price from $65 a month to $55 a month. The bad news is you lose or you get the removal of HBO. And HBO is a big piece of why people might like AT&T TV. So no HBO on the new channel lineup. This now becomes an add-on on the lineup. And you guessed it, for an additional $10. So my basic takeaway here is $10 cheaper, and then you add the $10 to get HBO back. So my takeaway basically is they wanted to lower their advertised price, what they're promoting, and then for the sake of the promotion, and then you're adding it on for $10 if people want it. So I see where this is going. They're going to be focusing HBO Max at the end of this, what would it be? Or like right in the middle of quarter two, like we're expecting something in May. So later on this year, or later on next month, we should be seeing the HBO Max release, with AT&T's media side and TV side, that kind of being the focus. They're going to focus the HBO associated channels, productions, and movies. No other changes or modifications to any other channel lineups or packages or plans. The Max plan is still going to be $80 per month. HBO Cinemax Sports package still included there. The Plus package gets you 45, I believe just a little bit more than 45 channels. The Max gets you, I think, of more than 60 channels. AT&T TV Now, being at $65 per month with that HBO package, it gives you a little bit less but costs more than a lot of the other offers. So like YouTube TV and Hulu Live and Sling, they're coming in closer to that $50 price point. That being said, a little bit better value than what AT&T is doing. All right, let's cap things off with some employment stuff and employees. This is actually a good thing and kind of a bad thing also. The employees that are considered to be frontline employees are getting extra money for working during the current situation. So part of essential business and retail and operations, as well as network infrastructure, maintenance, things like that. The situation there is 20% of the 20% bonus of regular hourly wages will be going to these employees, whether it's office or home, wherever they're working from, and overtime rates are going to be included. AT&T employees, we're talking about 240,000 employees here. Verizon's got about 135,000 employees. So they'll continue to work from home. They'll continue to do that. And then things will kind of hopefully be able to weather the storm, and people can get back to their normal lives once things have kind of wrapped up. So that being said, you guys can chime in on any of the news topics that made it here. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. So drop me a line in the comment section below, and get that conversation going down there. The voice of the people, the SMT Nation. Let your voice be heard. Sound off down there in the comment section. If you appreciated this episode of the channel, go ahead and hit that like button. Share it to your favorite social media platforms. That helps me out tremendously. Helps out the channel immensely. Also, if you're new, this is your first time here, consider subscribing. And then also hit the bell notification icon so you never miss an upload from the SMT. That wraps up this one. I've hand selected some other videos if you guys want to check out some other stuff. If you want to see some other videos from the SMT. Thank you guys so much for being here to watch. I'm the SMT, and we'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace.